There are many acts performed in the circus, and people love to watch and appreciate them. Most acts are not fully original or don't involve any real danger, but people also want something new and thrilling that takes their entertainment to another level. Throughout history, some of the most disturbing and terrifying acts were performed, so shocking that it hardly seems possible they ever happened in a circus. And trust me, if you stay here and watch the video fully, you'll discover the most disturbing circus acts that actually happened in history. So let's dive into today's journey. Number 15, the human lobster. In a time when circuses thrived on shock and spectacle, one of the most grotesque displays was known simply as the human lobster. Picture a performer, stripped to reveal a bare torso, metal hooks driven directly into the flesh of their back, arms, or chest. These hooks weren't props. They were real, piercing the skin in a carefully measured arrangement designed to bear the performer's weight. With each hook, pain became part of the performance. Then came the lift. The performer's body dangled helplessly above the sawdust floor, swinging with gravity, sometimes spinning under the ropes or pulleys. Every movement sent jolts of agony through the flesh. Audiences gasped, some screaming in horror, others clapping in awe at this grim testament to endurance. The act was a delicate balance between artistry and cruelty. One miscalculation, one snapped rope, could have turned the spectacle into a real tragedy. Yet, night after night, the human lobster endured, leaving spectators both mesmerized and horrified. Number 14. Rat fighting. In the shadowy corners of early 20th century circuses, another spectacle drew crowds with a grim fascination. Rat fighting. Tiny rodents, forced into cages or rings, were provoked to fight one another, sometimes against other small animals, as spectators leaned forward in eager anticipation. The acts weren't merely tricks or training. They were orchestrated chaos, designed to shock and enthrall the rats. Scrabbling and biting in a frenzy created a wild, unsettling rhythm that resonated through the tents. Some performers added flair, lifting cages or spinning them to intensify the battle, while spectators gasped at the unexpected ferocity. The scent of sweat, fur, and fear hung heavy, blending with the tang of metal and sawdust. It wasn't just entertainment. It was a stark mirror of humanity's darker curiosities, a fascination with life and death struggle in miniature form. As the crowd cheered, the performers maintained a grim control, manipulating chaos for maximum effect, leaving a lingering unease long after the rats were cleared. Number 13. Fireglass slide. Imagine a ramp lined with shards of jagged glass, flames licking along its edges, and a performer hurtling down at full speed. The fireglass slide was exactly this kind of death-defying spectacle. Circus-goers leaned forward, eyes wide, as the performer's bare feet and bodies skimmed over the broken glass, each step threatening lacerations. But it wasn't just the glass that made the act terrifying. It was the fire. Flames roared alongside the slide, sparked by accelerants to create a wall of heat and light, reflecting in the eyes of the audience. One slip, one misjudged step, and the show could end in disaster. The performers trained relentlessly to perfect timing, balance, and speed. Blending acrobatics with sheer endurance, every descent was a calculated risk, a dance with injury and death. Yet the crowd was captivated, drawn by the combination of danger, skill, and spectacle, leaving a lasting impression of awe and a faint, lingering sense of horror. Number 12. The human dartboard. Few circus acts tested nerves like the human dartboard. Picture a performer standing, suspended, or even blindfolded, while another takes aim with real steel-tipped darts. The tension in the tent was palpable as each dart whistled through the air, landing inches from flesh, sometimes embedding with a sickening thud. Audiences gasped and winced in unison, torn between fear and fascination. The performer's heart raced, muscles tensed, every twitch a potential disaster. Some acts added moving targets, spinning platforms, or swinging apparatuses, multiplying the danger. It was a high-stakes game of precision, trust, and nerves of steel. While the risk of serious injury was ever present, meticulous timing and skill allowed performers to execute the illusion of near-fatal danger repeatedly. Yet, beneath the spectacle lay a primal thrill for spectators. The vicarious rush of flirting with mortality without leaving their seats. Each throw, each dodge, left the crowd on edge, a mixture of exhilaration and dread. Number 11. Acid acts. Smoke hissed and curled as performers tilted bottles of corrosive chemicals onto their skin. Sizzling eruptions of color and heat transformed the human body into a living chemical reaction. The stench of acid mingled with sawdust and sweat, a sensory warning of the danger unfolding. Each movement required flawless control. One drop too many or a misjudged pour could leave permanent scars. The audience leaned forward, drawn by a mix of fascination and revulsion, eyes flicking from fuming liquid to the tense expressions of the performers. Flames, smoke, and sizzling reactions made the act seem supernatural, a controlled apocalypse on stage. It was a visceral thrill, not just a display of skill but of human audacity, deliberately courting pain to mesmerize. As the final sizzle faded, applause rang out, tinged with nervous laughter, leaving spectators awed, unnerved, and perhaps silently thankful it wasn't them risking burns for entertainment. Number 10. Human explosions. Sparks erupted, flames roared, and the air trembled as a performer triggered pyrotechnics directly on their body. The tent shook with controlled chaos, smoke curling into the rafters, heat licking at the audience's skin. Every gesture had to be exact, 1 second too early or too late, and catastrophe would strike. The performer twisted, dodged, and braced, blending acrobatics with the raw spectacle of fire and explosion. Heartbeats raced as the illusion of a living bomb unfolded. Sparks reflected in the wide eyes of spectators, some frozen in horror, others thrilled. It wasn't just skill on display. It was a confrontation with mortality, an adrenaline-charged gamble where courage met physics. Each explosion left smoke and tension hanging in the air, a silent reminder that human daring could flirt with disaster, leaving an audience both exhilarated and profoundly uneasy. A strange mixture of awe and fear lingering long after the final blast. Let's move on. Number 9. Mercury and toxic fumes. Silver droplets shimmered ominously as performers handled mercury, its heavy liquid metal gleaming in the dim circus lights. In some mad scientist acts, the performers inhaled or manipulated toxic fumes to create eerie smoke effects, reflections, or dramatic clouds, heightening the illusion of danger. The audience watched, mesmerized and unaware of the real hazard lingering in the air. Each movement had to be deliberate. Even a slight misstep could result in poisoning or burns. The acrid scent of metal and chemicals filled the tent, mingling with the faint tang of fear from spectators leaning closer to see the spectacle. Performers moved like dancers, choreographing chaos, controlling hazardous substances while projecting confidence. Every flicker of smoke or shimmering reflection amplified the surreal, terrifying beauty of the stunt. It wasn't mere trickery. It was a carefully orchestrated flirtation with real toxicity, a dance between danger, skill, and the audience's morbid fascination with the unknown. Number 8. Knife catching. Blades sliced through the air, glinting sharply under the circus lights, while the performers' bare hands awaited their deadly arc. Knife catching was not a stunt of illusion, but of precision, timing, and nerves honed to steel. Some performers escalated the danger, catching axes or knives thrown at high speeds, with spinning targets or unpredictable trajectories. The audience gasped, a mixture of awe and terror, as each catch seemed impossibly precise. One hesitation, one twitch, and the blade could strike true. Sweat glistened on tense forearms as muscles coiled and released with every throw. The rhythm of anticipation and release created a hypnotic suspense, turning each toss into a pulse-quickening moment. It was not merely entertainment, it was a dance with mortality, a controlled flirtation with pain and risk. Every successful catch earned gasps, applause, and whispered disbelief, leaving spectators both exhilarated and unnervingly aware of the razor-thin margin between skill and disaster. Number 7. Snake charming with venomous species. Fangs gleamed and scales shimmered as venomous snakes twisted and coiled around the performer's limbs. Unlike tame circus reptiles, these serpents carried real danger. Their unpredictable strikes were a constant threat. Audiences watched, riveted, as the performer danced among writhing bodies, arms and legs moving in precise, fluid motions to avoid lethal bites. At times, snakes were coaxed into biting themselves or clashing together for dramatic effect, adding an element of chaos to the deadly choreography. The air was thick with tension. Every hiss, flick, and sudden strike forced hearts to pound and eyes to widen. The performer's calm exterior belied the risk at every second, a silent negotiation with instinct and poison. Each calculated movement transformed terror into theater, mesmerizing spectators with the illusion of control over nature's deadliest weapons. By the end, the crowd erupted in applause, but the lingering unease reminded everyone that death and art had danced too closely for comfort. Number 6. Human pyre. Flames licked at the edges of a raised platform as the performer lay supine, the air thick with heat and smoke. This was the human pyre, an act where fire, timing, and human endurance collided in a controlled spectacle of near death. Every breath was measured, every movement precise. One miscalculation and the blaze could engulf the performer. The audience could feel the heat radiating, smell the scorching air, and watch the body twist and shift just enough to avoid catastrophe. Flames danced over the stage, highlighting sweat, muscles, and nerves taut with anticipation. It was a stunt of controlled fear, designed to make spectators gasp and lean forward, mesmerized by the proximity of danger. Each successful performance was a triumph of human skill and courage, leaving the crowd exhilarated, unnerved, and painfully aware of how thin the line was between spectacle and disaster. Number 5. Spiked chair torture. The audience froze as the performer lowered themselves onto a chair bristling with sharp spikes. Unlike the safer bed of nails stunts, this act forced every ounce of weight and balance onto protrusions designed to pierce flesh. Juggling clubs, balancing props, or even simple gestures became a study in precision, as one wrong movement could drive spikes deeper, causing real injury. The performer's face remained a mask of control, hiding the tension and pain coursing through every nerve. Sawdust crunched underfoot as the body shifted minutely to maintain equilibrium, creating a silent, horrifying rhythm of suspense. Gasps and whispers rippled through the audience, a mix of fascination and fear. With each second, the line between daring performance and bodily harm blurred. By the finale, the performer rose slowly, the spikes barely grazing flesh, leaving spectators in stunned awe, acutely aware of the razor-thin margin between art and agony. And now get ready for Number 4. Live animal-eating acts. A grim hush fell over the tent as small animals were placed center stage, their fate intertwined with entertainment. Some circuses staged live consumption, forcing creatures to be killed or eaten as part of the act. A grotesque spectacle that shocked even the most jaded spectators. The performers manipulated each moment to maximize drama. The struggle, the timing, the audience's horrified fascination. Squeals, fur, and frantic movements filled the air, blending with the scent of sawdust and fear. Watching the primal struggle unfold, the crowd experienced a mix of adrenaline, revulsion, and morbid curiosity. It wasn't mere cruelty. It was a psychological thrill, forcing spectators to confront life, death, and humanity's darker fascinations under the guise of entertainment. By the end, applause mixed with uneasy murmurs as the audience processed what they had witnessed. Entertainment that bordered on the unthinkable, leaving a lingering discomfort long after the tent emptied. Number 3. Human sawing. The saw's teeth bit into the air, inching toward the performer's torso. Unlike illusion-based versions, this stunt involved a real spinning saw blade, and the performer had to remain perfectly still to avoid contact. Their body tensed, arms adjusted minutely, and the saw operator measured each movement with precision. Any shift could have caused serious injury. The audience observed the blade gliding closer and then retreating, the sound of metal cutting through air creating a tense rhythm. The performer's coordination and timing dictated the act, moving in tandem with the saw to maintain clearance. Once the blade fully retracted, the performer slid away from the apparatus, unharmed but visibly cautious. The apparatus was reset for the next attempt, with all motions calculated to minimize risk while maintaining the appearance of extreme danger. Number 2. Glass box entrapment. The performer was sealed inside a cube of jagged glass, every edge a potential laceration. Flames or water were sometimes added, increasing the difficulty of movement inside the enclosure. The performer had to twist, turn, and contort precisely to avoid cutting themselves, while also attempting to reach the escape mechanism. Each motion produced a sharp scraping sound as glass shifted against skin, punctuated by occasional sparks or droplets of water hitting hot surfaces. The audience watched in tense silence, noting every careful adjustment, every scrape narrowly avoided. Timing, balance, and spatial awareness were critical. Hesitation or misjudgment could result in serious injury. The performer worked deliberately, inching toward freedom, relying on muscle memory and acute focus. After several minutes of careful maneuvering, the escape was achieved, leaving the glass intact, but obviously dangerous. The act ended immediately once the performer exited. The cube cleared and reset for the next performance. Number 1. Human pyrotechnic suspension. Sparks flared along the rigging as a body hung suspended above the tent floor. The costume ignited with controlled pyrotechnics. Flames licked unpredictably around limbs while smoke curled into the rafters, rising in thick plumes. Every motion required precise coordination. Twisting or shifting too far could bring a flare into contact with the costume or destabilize the harness. The performer's muscles tensed continuously to maintain balance, while tether points creaked subtly under weight and movement. Operators triggered timed bursts, ensuring that sparks and flame patterns did not intersect with vulnerable areas of the body. Mid-air adjustments had to be calculated within fractions of a second, combining aerial acrobatics with pyrotechnic control. Once the sequence concluded, the body was lowered carefully to the floor, with the costume smoldering in controlled patches. Rigging and pyrotechnic equipment were immediately inspected and reset for the next performance. Sparks of curiosity ignite as you scroll through scenes that defy belief, each more daring than the last. Hit subscribe to unlock the next exploration and let your reactions flow naturally. Like, comment, or share the moments that left you breathless. Your clicks and messages aren't just numbers. They guide these adventures and uncover even stranger feats. Every share spreads the spectacle further. Every comment sparks conversation. We're deeply grateful for your attention and participation, and your support drives this journey forward. Thank you for being here, engaging, and helping to bring these extraordinary stories to life.